I'm going to do a really quick video on how to cook in a tiny house. I'm cooking tacos, my specialty tacos today, but I don't eat meat anymore. So I'm going to make bean tacos for myself, but I'm cooking for a couple friends. So just to show you that right here I have my meat cooking. I cut up the lettuce, the tomato, the cheese earlier. My flip up table kind of broke, so I have to have it down, so I kind of have my knives over there and my oranges over there and pots and pans all over the place. So stick with me, and once I learn how to edit these videos, it'll be a lot easier, so I can fast forward through certain things. So and I'll be talking during this, so enjoy. These usually take 3 hours to make if I make 60 of them. So that's kind of why I cut up the tomatoes and the cheese and the lettuce earlier, because it's kind of, it needs room, and I usually have help, and I'm usually doing it for 3 hours, but if I have help it's like an hour and a half. Oh, hot sauce too. So I'm going to use a bowl and a colander thing for the grease. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get the grease not to go down the drain. Okay. Ooh, look at that! That's what I'm looking for! Yes, I didn't know I could accomplish that. Now I need cumin. Now what I'm going to do, instead of, because I'm going to need to take this off, put it over there somewhere so that I can put a pan of oil over here. But this time I'm going to use a trivet. I want the least grease down the drain as possible, because it's a water system, and then the grease comes back in, and so that's that. Okay, now I'm going to transfer it over here. Hopefully it will not go underneath. Just in case, let's put a towel underneath. Here. What really sucks about these tacos is that I have to use vegetable oil, and because it's a lot of oil that I use, because I kind of deep fry these tacos. But to enjoy this one good meal, I'd say it's okay. It's my cheat meal. So usually I have a designated tortilla maker. They're on one burner, and then I'm usually the meat's on another burner, and then either me or the other person or another person is on another burner. This isn't a regular kitchen in a house. Frying the tacos, so there's like 3 different things going on. Usually there's also a pot of tomatoes and jalapeno pepper to make the hot sauce, and so that's 4 burners being used. So that's why I made the hot sauce already, got that out of the way. Because I don't eat meat anymore, I'm going to use this little pot, and I'm gonna put some like beans in there and smush them around, and put some seasoning in there, make it, you know, maybe some onions or something to be my meat of the taco. I was crushed when I thought that I wasn't going to be able to make these anymore because I stopped eating tacos. So I had to think, what would I replace it with, and I came up with the beans thing. So I've not made it with the beans thing yet, so we will see how that works out. If anyone has any suggestions, please let me know what vegan options or vegetarian options that I could use on my tacos, because I stopped eating meat 3 months ago, and I don't really know what to substitute besides veggie burgers and boca burgers and fruits, veggies, and smoothies and stuff. So we're gonna pour the grease into the funnel, into the glass in the sink. And this is how difficult it is, or I want to say how I choose it to be. I don't want anything like this down my system, so I'm just opting to do it this way. And honestly, I'm learning patience from it, so I'm usually not a patient person, and I would be not digging this, but this is the way I chose to live, and that's why I'm kind of showing you this video, is to show you how much work I go through to do some of this stuff, to just live. We're rinsing this out kind of like with a paper towel, as much as we can. It's still greasy, it's still slippery and slimy, and that stuff gets in your water system. And well, I actually don't know. I don't want to take the chance. I've been trying to learn from the other people on the videos and on the page and in the group, and whoever has this system that's trying to learn it and understand it. So I'm trying to learn from their mistakes, and then other things that other people have said. You don't want food on there, wipe out your plates. I mean, I get it. There was grease in there, and I get it all the way to there's nothing in there. And then I put a bit of soap in there, and then I'll wash it. And another thing, you probably want to wash as you go in a small kitchen, clean as you go, because there's not a lot of room to just let things sit around. So I suggest cleaning as you go, and as much as you can at least. So how do cooks taste their food if they don't like something or they don't eat something? Should I taste that meat? Because I'm serving it and I don't know if it's seasoned right, so I have to. That's good. Alright, woo! This one's burning. That's another thing. When you're working by yourself, you gotta make sure that you're on top of it. Especially with these tacos, because they're very time consuming and tedious. And so usually I take this bottle and I keep it in the corner, so we'll keep it in the corner right now. Hopefully it won't get in the way. This pot is for my beans. We'll use that later. This can be put in here now. I sometimes wash as I go. Wash my hands again because they get dirty with other foods on them and stuff. So yeah, this is a lot of multitasking when it comes to making these tacos by yourself. It's complete chaos sometimes in the kitchen. But they're so, so good. Even my sister, who's a vegetarian, will eat these. And I was thinking, gosh, now I'm that way. Should I do that? And I'm like, no, I don't know. But maybe I would. I don't know. Especially if I was starving, you know I would. I could always stop again. So, once these are done, I have to have a pan set up. And it depends on how you want these, if you want them light or lightly toasted or crunchy. You can leave them in there less time or not, whichever. I think I'm gonna do lightly crunchy. And then you drain the grease off, and then that's when we're gonna put it up over there on the plates. Alright. So I can fill this one, but again, I don't want to put it in until I have about 4 or 5 more. So while the tortillas are cooking, I'm going to do the dishes that are in the sink really quick. All I do is put a little bit of soap, I don't fill the sink or anything. I don't use a whole load or anything like that. A whole sink of whatever. Because you're usually washing one dish at a time, so. I think I'm going to start making them a little less burnt because it's taking such a long time to get them to that state. So maybe a little bit brown, like browns a little bit, but not so charred because that's like 10, I feel like it's like 5-10 minutes sitting on that. We are going to do that all over again. Again, if you have help or you have a stove that has multiple burners, it's a lot easier because then you can have you can be doing 2 and 3 things at the same time using more burners. I might give in and eat meat tonight. No. All weekend we were having, there was a poker run at the campground and there was stations with food and they had meat there and it just looked so good. And being only a month or 3 months out of eating meat, I still crave it sometimes. I still love it, or used to love it, but I don't want to make an excuse to eat my tacos because it has regular meat in it. I can replace it and use the flavorings and have them be just as good. That's what I was hoping, but I don't know. Right now, we'll see where it goes. Now, one problem might be I'm going to have to figure out what to do with this oil. That is about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, maybe 3 inches of deep fry oil. So I do have bigger plastic containers, but maybe I should wait till it's colder. I used to put it in cans in freezer. Maybe I can do that. But definitely not down the drain. Of course, not in a house either, so, or an apartment. And now that the pan is no longer hot, I can put the trivet away. Just get it out of the way. Probably also this towel, which I don't need anymore. So it's just super easy. Cooking in a tiny house, it just takes a little bit of work and moving things around and cleaning more often and all of that to accomplish what you're trying to do. So it takes a little patience, and if you're working on your patience like I am, it's beneficial. So this is the coolest can opener. It just took it off and it didn't leave any edges. It took it off the top without cutting into the middle. That's awesome. So I'm gonna have to do that same draining thing with these beans. So drain these. And then because I don't use the sink water for my food, so I have this, but now because I don't use, I want to rinse them. I don't like all that slime and like all that sodium and blah, like all that stuff. I just rinse them clean and get them all clean. Well, I used to use apartment sink water, and now I have to use drinking water. So it's expensive. I kind of want to invest in a water cooler so that would be the easier way. And I know some of you might be saying, well, the easier way might be not getting the water system, but I want it. I wanted it, and I wanted to see if I could live this way. It's a different lifestyle, yes, but I'm living it. Didn't fill up the bowl all the way. At least it's a bigger bowl. Let's see. Another paper towel. And here again, I don't want anything down my system, including all of that. So I'm gonna take what I have, wipe it all out as best as I can. And then I'll wash it afterward. Sometimes it takes multiple times to like rinse these. Sometimes it takes multiple water washes to get pulp out. Sometimes it takes multiple paper towels. Now I did design my house so that if I ever wanted to sell it, or if I got sick of the system, or it broke down, or it didn't work, that I can hook up to septic and water and have still, you kind of like just hookups. Even if city hookups, where I could still utilize things. I'm also in a campground right now where if my washer dryer broke down, I can do my laundry, which I did my laundry earlier today because I had my bed sheets to do, so, and jeans, and I didn't want them to wrinkle again, so I actually spent the money to have it done. If my toilet breaks down, or I don't want to use it, or blah blah blah, I can use the one up at the front office. So there are other options when you, if you plan it into your plan, and that's what I did. I planned all this stuff out, so just in case any of this stuff happened, that's how I could take care of it. And then with this can, what I do is same thing, rinse it out like this. If I choose to keep the can, I'll do this rinse thing. If I don't want to recycle these right now, then if I find it's too hard of a process to recycle 1 or 2 cans, then my cats no longer eat wet cat food, so I don't have as many cans as I used to. I don't drink pop. So it's usually just beans and stuff, and corn and little things. But that was easy enough. It's still not perfect, but I can throw this away now, where it's not all gunky and gross and that attracts flies and stuff. This actually was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot messier to deal with the disposal of the grease, but that seemed to be not so bad, doing it in a bowl like that. I usually do it in a can, which is a lot smaller area to work with, so especially with a colander. So now that I had this big bowl, it was a lot easier to drain it into. Alright, now we're going to move these back over here. Move this back up. This back over here. This plate we can save for later, because it's not too dirty, so if I need to cut something else, I could use that. Back to a little bit of the dishes, just to get them out of the sink. I always like, in the apartment I had dishes, total bad dishes in the sink. I would never, it took me a long time to do the dishes, so right now I'm kind of trying to change my mindset. So in order to have a nice, clean, tiny house, I'm trying to clean more and be more mindful of everything that I'm doing when it comes to living tiny. Teflon pan, so not much to clean. Still going to wipe it out with doesn't matter if you use a clean one or a dirty one, it's just to get, you're going to throw it away anyway, but it's just to get all the residual crumbs out of there, because I don't want that down my drain. This was not as bad as I thought. Oh my gosh, I thought I was going to be impatient, I thought I was going to be like frustrated, like I wasn't going to have any room, but surprisingly it was pretty simple if you just do one thing at a time. So I don't know if I'm going to make more than 6, because I don't know. Well, I guess I could. I'll use up the beans at least. I'd say that's one of the biggest things that you have to be mindful of, is putting things away as you go and cleaning as you go, because if you don't, all the stuff's in the way, and that's what causes your frustration. I actually thought about like how much work this would take and how much time it would take to record a video, like showing how to maneuver around it, because it's a difficult dish, so it takes a long time. There's a lot of things involved. I didn't show the whole half before, which I didn't tape, of me cutting the vegetables and making the hot sauce, just because that was something I decided after the fact to make the video. And I'm going to use my last two toothpicks to close this up, and then we can put all of them in there at the same time, I'm hoping. It's a big enough pan, I think. Okay, and then another paper towel for this when it's done. So I'm going to leave that right here on the counter. So I made about 9 for me. They can try them too if they want. I don't think I'll eat 9. But when I do make them, everyone eats about 4, 5, 6. So they're really addictive. Just covering up my bean tacos. That's it for this. I'm going to put that away. And you can tell, or as you can see, how quickly it cleans up. Like, it cleans up so fast that you don't, like this will go back over here. And now we're kind of done. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you draining that until it's empty, but I'm going to do the same process that I did with this bottle. I just used the empty bottles of drinks and put the grease down there. So I'll use probably the ladle again, and a bowl so that nothing gets in the sink. It might take a couple of these, but that's okay. But I want to do it when it's cold rather than hot, because I don't want it to melt through this. I don't know if it would, but so that's it. Thanks for watching me cook my specialty tacos in my tiny house. I hope it like displayed a good way of how to use a small space in a kitchen, especially if you have all this crap back here. And you know, for that reason right there, see right there that all of my stuff is on there because that's kind of broken. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe to my channel and feel free to share. Thank you.